A little short of 10 years ago, Michael Jackson, the king of pop, left our existence, leaving behind millions of devastated fans and so many unanswered and often quite difficult questions. Well, he's back, and it's about to get weird. Yes, even more weird than the first time around. Right, just really quickly here, two things that I just know are going to be very necessary. One, certain words and phrases in this video will be replaced with something like this.
Floppy nipples.
Because basically I don't want to get demonetized. And then two, I've been a fan of Michael Jackson's music for many years. He actually was the initial inspiration behind me taking a creative path in life. This video isn't intended to be offensive at all, it's all just humor, alright? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy, and today I'll be your guide for the wild second coming of Michael Jackson. We start our journey in a graveyard because duh, Michael has just arisen. Confused, he has no concept of why he's back. You may notice his pale complexion and think that death has really screwed him up, but that's just his face. Oh, and he's dressed in all that death himself had available. It does look like some form of over-the-top gimp suit, but the dead can't be too picky about their attire. So first things first, Michael needs some form of context for his apparent resurrection. He comes across a youngish woman and asks what year it is. To his surprise, it's 2019. He then discovers the woman has no idea who Michael Jackson is, as she only really listens to things like Cardi B, and Michael doesn't know who that is. But for some reason the words Cardi B fill him with an inescapable urge to lash out. One, this is Sparta kick later, and Michael has won his first fight of either of his two lives. So well done, Michael. He then proceeds to evade a second conflict with his dancing feet, leaving the dude face-palming the floor, and flees the scene. Now granted, it's been a long time since his physical body was in use, and honestly even then it wasn't in particularly good working order, so of course there's gonna be some, let's call them mistakes along the way. We'll try to ignore them, but that aside, Michael appears to be safe. But he's not all that comfortable in his current outfit, so now he needs a mode of transport. He's feeling ruthless after his assault of a young woman, and of course his memories of some stuff in the news about him, just, minor things, not important. So Mike needs a car, now. He selects the right opportunity and expands his carjacking horizons, aided by the driver being shocked into self-urination by seeing a living, breathing MJ. But I don't know about you, but I never saw footage of Michael driving, not once. I figure personally, he either can't drive or got way too used to being chauffeured around because he drives worse than your blind drunk grandma, which eventually culminates in, well, the obvious, a head-on collision with a stationary structure. Having reviewed the damage, Mike decides it might be best to head out on foot for the rest of the journey, doing his best not to be recognized. I mean, it has been 10 years of death. I'm sure plenty of people are far more familiar with furries and hentai than they are Michael Jackson. Eventually, a local clothing store is reached, and thankfully, not all of Mike's assets have been stripped away. One bank account still remains that he can access. A suitable outfit is thrown together and purchased, and we're heading out. With self-confidence restored, Mike decides to give this whole driving thing another crack, and thankfully, there's a car right there waiting to be commandeered by an undead music star of yesteryear. But the car's alarmed, which causes a bit of an unwanted scene, and Michael needs to escape the police for reasons this time not related to
teddy bear tickling.
Thankfully, his driving skills seem to have rapidly improved. Now the pressure is on. He speeds away without issue, finds a place to wait things out, and eventually the police give up. I guess he's so pale and has that, skin condition that they gave him white privilege and figured it was no big deal. I just know someone's gonna blast me in the comment section for some of this stuff. I'm absolutely sure of it. With that all cleared up and with a second chance at life, Mike wants to expand his horizons even further and get a fresh cut for 2019. I mean, it has been 10 years since his last haircut, if you know what I mean. And if it sucks, well, he has his trusty fedora on anyway. Now, on his drive over, he starts to go through radio stations to see what's new in the music scene, until he stumbles across one of his own tracks. Obviously, this is a pretty hype moment for Mike. He's moving to the music and beatboxing, and actually he's doing that more so than driving. This distraction causes his second car crash of the day, and worse than that, he hears a bystander call him a
total tiddler.
Well, Michael just loses it again. Apparently, Undead Mike is a bit more punchy than original Mike, so he decides once again to go the rest of the way on foot. And quickly, as he doesn't want to be arrested. That rarely seems to go very well for him. With the desired destination reached, Mike selects a totally new look. He decides upon a hipster cut, as it definitely doesn't make him look even more like a zombie nightmare, right? And he heads out, with the intention of getting cleaned up after 2 car crashes and a resurrection. Again, going on foot seems like the best play here, and he reaches an apartment block. Obviously, he then buys one on the spot, as, well, he is Michael Jackson. This is the life of the rich, famous, and undead. And it seems the place is already furnished. It's not really to Michael's tastes, it's not exactly Neverland, but it's better than the box he's been living in for the past decade. Plus, the view is pretty good. Fast forward a little and we find Mikey grabbing a shower and singing one of his bangers from a past life. Just ignore the fact his back is clearly rotting. Being dead a while does these things. Plus, I've seen some of your mum's backs out there. Don't ask me how, but it's not a pretty sight. You're hardly in a position to poke fun, alright? Now he's all showered up and wearing something he's comfortable in. Michael decides he misses performing, but after some effort to find somewhere that will allow him to, he finds there's only one open spot in town. Now this is a bit confusing considering he's arguably the biggest music star of all time, but he figures maybe times have just changed and he heads over to the place. He's happy to find it has kind of an 80s vibe going on. It might be the perfect spot for his music. It's called Howie Girls, Howery Girl, I don't know, something like that. The writing is a bit weird, but whatever, Mike is hyped. And then very quickly Mike is confused. Why? Is this his warm-up act? Maybe things really have changed since he died. Is Britney relevant? What's Prince up to now? So many questions. So Mikey asks one of the nice girls working what the deal is with the outfits and what sort of setup is available for his performance. Let's just say the answers he received weren't exactly what he expected. Fast forward to 20 minutes later and Mikey has drowned his sorrows with a whole shot. Yeah, he's kind of a lightweight, but this situation just won't do. One accidental lap dance later, after trying to exit through the wrong door, our boy stumbles home. With no idea how he managed to get back, Michael wakes up a little later on. Now don't tell him this, but it turns out it was morning by the time Mike left the weirdly named grown-up club. He stole a car, drove drunk, killed multiple people, evaded the police, and literally crashed into the grounds of his apartment block. But Mike can't remember any of that due to the alcohol, so it's like it never even happened. Plus, he could probably get a good lawyer anyway. Now, Michael obviously wants to find out what's going on with his lack of ability to find a decent gig. And he very quickly gets the information he needs. He's front page news, and he discovers that a music executive is to blame for his troubles. It seems this man doesn't want Michael Jackson to come back, have a resurgence, and change the music industry right when he and his artists are at the top of it and making crazy money. So obviously, in the mind of the newly murderous Michael Jackson, this man needs taking out. And that's where we leave Michael today. A lot has happened for him since his death, yet it seems like his adventure is just beginning. What will come of Michael's second chance at life? Leave your guesses in the comments below. So for new viewers watching me today, welcome, thanks for being here. This is really the start of my journey to expand my channel into a more multi-game entertainment channel with more possibility to grow. Existing subscribers, you're far more used to seeing what's on screen right now, Battlefield footage. I've been a Battlefield focused content creator for the vast majority of my time on YouTube so far. I've played some other stuff here and there, but Battlefield has been the game that's helped me to get to this current point. I've stuck with it even through what is pretty low interest a lot of the time on YouTube, and it's been an awesome ride. I absolutely love the community that we've built here, but change is needed sometimes, especially if I really do want to continue to do this long term. It's not as if the channel is entirely changing, but there are alterations being made. I'm burnt out on doing tips and guides and all the serious stuff, and doing that really limits me to just Battlefield, which isn't healthy for me or the channel itself. Focusing solely on one game, especially when it's not particularly popular, it's not that fun for me, as I've done it now for over 2 years. So although Battlefield will remain as one of the key aspects of the channel, at least for now, I will be branching out and having fun as you've seen today. I'm aiming to entertain you guys more so than inform. I'll be doing a lot more humorous stuff, which isn't unusual for my channel, but it will be brought to the forefront now, rather than being a secondary aspect. I've seen the growth that people like Modest Pelican have have achieved via playing what he wants and entertaining so many people. He's a really genuinely awesome guy, and I consider him to be a friend. I value his input, so we've talked about it and he's laid out to me that I just have to start doing other stuff if I want it to be part of my channel. So that's what I'm doing. There may be super low numbers on these videos on fresh games for the channel for a while the YouTube algorithm isn't sure who to recommend me to. I need to teach it that I'm not just doing Battlefield, and while it's still recommending me to just Battlefield, the views probably aren't going to be there. But it's necessary. It's part of the process, and one I'm looking forward to. So, new viewer or old, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be in the position I'm in, doing something with my life that I really love. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join my Discord server in the description and my pinned comment. Here's the Board of Awesome for the epic people who support the channel on Patreon. They're all absolute heroes, and I love them all deeply and often. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I'm GetGoodGuy, and I'll see you next time. Laters.